Okay, so like I said, this is called the cost estimate breakdown. You'll see at the top that the main source that we keep this logged is a program called Smartsheet. So if you hear that term a lot, that's just referencing your cost estimate breakdown, which is as in essence your budget. So here we have everything dissected by the different categories, such as your pre-construction, your foundation, your framing, mechanicals, insulation, drywall, and it goes all the way down to general expenses and labor, cleaning, such things like that. And see, we have a total at the bottom. So this is just a sample. This isn't pertaining to any home. So don't take that number too seriously. But you'll also notice that I have two columns set up here. I have a preliminary cost column, and then I have an estimated cost column. So the preliminary is the budget that Dave and I come up with together when we've reviewed your plans. And so based off of the size, some of your specific details, that how the trusses are set, things like that, we can come up with a preliminary cost based on some square footage cost and just your amount of garage doors and sizes. And also, by this point, you filled out our first questionnaire, and there you've specified some other things that you might want added to your home. And so we try to keep that into consideration when we are putting together your preliminary cost category as well. But I do want to emphasize the fact that these are just allowances. So right now, none of these numbers are set in stone. These are just allowances. These are what we are thinking each of these items are going to cost. For example, your appliances. We've given you an allowance of $8,000 based on what we think you could pick for your home and be able to keep it in that number. But you'll also notice here that we have changed the color to orange. So a lot of times by the time you look at your cost estimate breakdown, what you see is orange is totally flexible. And what maybe we've blacked out is a number that we feel like is set in stone. So a lot of the labor numbers may be already set in stone by the time that we've decided to move forward on this project. We may know exactly how much our laborer is going to charge for your job. But what's in orange, again, totally flexible. Now, when you and I start working together and we start really honing in on very specific details, let's say, for example, framing structure. So I really don't have anything to do with the first two categories, pre-construction and foundation. I cannot change those numbers at all. But we get down here to framing structure and we start picking out doors and windows. Now, we've given you an allowance for $14,000, let's say, based on how many windows are on your plans. But once we start picking out the brand of window, the size of, maybe we make some window changes, maybe we delete some, maybe we add some, maybe we change them from double hung to casement. Then we'll get an accurate quote on those windows, and I will enter that. This is my column that I can make changes in. Estimated cost. So let's say that we pick out some Anderson windows and they actually, with tax, come to $15,000 instead of $14,000. So I'm going to enter that in here, and it's going to be blue because blue is my color. Dave's color is orange. And then here in this column, you'll notice I've added an attachment. So I will upload your quote. It'll be added on here so that when you look at this, you can click on that and you can pull up the Windows quote. And maybe you notice that you don't like that number. You want to reduce it down. Or maybe you want to add more windows from there or make some more changes. Then we'll just continue to keep tweaking with this category. Maybe we'll delete out a couple windows so that we can bring it back under $14,000 for you. So that is totally flexible. And here I will add some comments. So maybe I'll say that, let's say that we decided to go with vinyl windows instead of wood. Adding grids. So when I post that here, you'll see a date, and then you'll also see who posted it. Now you can continue to add comments in this category. So you can even add a comment such as, we've decided to delete grids. So then when you post that, I'm going to see your name, and I'm going to get an email that you've posted a comment here. So when I pull it up, I see that we've changed the decision. Now this is really important because 5 months from now, when the windows come in that we've ordered and they don't have grids in them, and maybe you forgot that we deleted the grids, and so we pull this back up and we say, how did we get to this decision? Well, on March 19th, we made a change here. So it's very important, especially when we're talking about any of the ordering process, any of your finances, whether they're up or down, whatever changes that we make to the project, it's very important that we record everything in this cost estimate breakdown, because this process will go on for an extended period of time. And sometimes we forget what decisions we've made. Sometimes we forget what changes are made. This is also our database where Dave gets regular notifications. Your project manager, Caleb, gets regular notifications, as well as myself and you guys who are involved. So we're all kept up to date. We all know about the changes, and we can all keep track of how this project is going. So if you have any more questions as far as the cost estimate breakdown is concerned, please feel free to leave comments under this video, and I will address them as soon as I can. Next, stay tuned. I'd really like to take you through the other two things that we have on Smartsheet that we share with you, which is the project schedule as well as our design sheet.